Hi everyone, welcome to the English to Takeaway podcast. This is episode number 41. My name is Richard, also known as the Grammar Goat on social media. I'm an English teacher and I'm a content creator as well. Delighted to introduce my partner in podcasts, Jordan.
Thank you very much. And I am the same as Richard. I am an English teacher and also content creator. You might have seen English Lingo or English Lingo with Jordan on social media. And it's a stark contrast in locations.
It is a stark
Yes.
contrast, isn't it? If you look at my background now compared to last week's background, I mean it's not much
I
comparison, is
know.
there really, mate?
Yeah, that was epic. That was awesome to be able to film in person. I mean, us both in the same place, and also have such a fantastic location as well was a treat. It was a nice treat.
It was kind of surreal, wasn't it, as well? Every time I looked out that window on the 58th floor, it was kind of surreal. I couldn't quite believe my eyes.
Yeah, yeah. You had a wicked view of the city. It was really quite spectacular actually, and yeah, it was nice. It was brilliant. So and yeah, just getting back to like the actual time there. It was, as we were talking just before recording this, as you said, it was very memorable. It was a very memorable trip, and I totally agree with that. It's certainly one one trip that is very memorable for us as well, because of the festival and you know everything that went on as well. It was great. It was really nice. So yeah, it was good. Very good stuff indeed.
It
How
was
how
good.
was your trip how was your trip back, by the way? Because I know you had to rearrange one of your flights, didn't you, beforehand? How did everything go?
Yeah, the flight was fine. The like we had to transfer in Dubai. That was fine. But a bit of
Yeah,
a story for you when we left our hotel. So, as you know, it was a very nice five-star hotel that we stayed at, and I'd booked um, basically a van, like a small minibus. I'd booked to take us from the hotel to the airport because obviously we had
yes,
so much luggage. There were six of us in the group. I think I counted 13 different bags, so we needed a minibus to take us. So kind of went outside the lobby, the drop off area of the hotel. Spoke to some of the bellboys there that I'd seen and got to know, and we stood waiting for the van to arrive. Waited 15 minutes, and I had the number of the person who was meant to be driving the van, and I was sort of texting them saying, where are you? Because you're 15 minutes late, and I was a little bit, what it's like when you're traveling. You're a little bit on edge, aren't you? You want to get going. You want
J-
to.
jittery. You're getting jittery.
Yeah, exactly. Especially when we're in like dad mode, right? When we're traveling as dads, with our kids, we
Yeah,
we we, we do get a bit jittery and we want to get going. So I was like, where is this bloody bus? Where is this driver? Anyway, the finally the bus arrived, and we stacked all of the luggage into the back. With the bellboys helped, kind of said our goodbyes, high fives all round, shaking hands, got on the bus, and off we went. And I sort of I was sitting near the front, and I sort of sat back and breathed a huge sigh of relief. And I was like, oh, thank goodness for that. We're on the way to the airport finally, and I can
yeah.
relax. And then the driver of the minibus turned around and showed me the address that he was going to, and it wasn't the airport. It was so basically we'd got in the totally wrong van.
Oh
So
no.
So,
No.
so I couldn't believe it. So it was so humiliating because so he had to turn around and take us back to the hotel. So we
Yeah.
we drive back up into the hotel. So not only are all the bellboys still there, looking totally confused, there's a big group of people all in really posh clothes.
Yeah.
It's their bus. So
Oh
they were
no.
like annoyed, like what's going on? Why are you in our bus? Because they were going to a party. So
Right.
had to
Wow.
had to get out the bus, get all the bags off the bus. And I'm back at square one. It's 30 minutes now that we've been waiting. Anyway,
Yeah.
finally got a message from the company, and the driver had fallen asleep in the van, and he's parked underneath the hotel in the underground parking, and he's asleep.
Oh wow. Wow.
So I mean, I sort of lost it. I lost my temper, and I was like, right,
Ah.
I'm gonna get a different bus.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I asked the hotel to order me a different bus to come.
Right.
So we're waiting, and our new bus is coming, and then the original bus arrives. So it just all got so messy. So I like had not an argument, but I like had a discussion with the original driver, telling him we didn't need him anymore, and he didn't
Yeah.
understand. He was taking photos of me and to prove that he was there. Then the new bus
Right.
comes, so
Yeah.
it was all very very messy.
Wow.
Not the sort of departure that I had hoped for, to be honest.
Yeah. So in that case, having both having both drivers there, both minibus, how did you resolve that? Like, how did you, did you go with the original one? Did you go with the new one?
Well,
Like, how did you,
I yeah,
yeah, leave it?
I essentially paid for two vans in the end, unfortunately, because
Oh no!
the original one I'd already prepaid, and then
Right,
the new one I was sort of committed to taking the new one because the hotel had ordered it, and the bellboys were like looking at me
right.
like, "Well, this is I've just ordered this for you, so you've got to take it." So
Yeah, yeah.
it was all a bit messy in the
Wow,
end,
that's
but
terrible.
well,
That is so bad. Yeah.
yeah,
No, I, you were leaving quite late at night, right? So I think
yeah,
as you said, because again, people might think like someone sleeping. I know it's their job, but you guys were towards sort of like the latish end, weren't you, of the day? So um, yeah, but there's still no excuse. Like when you've ordered something, man,
no.
it's how frustrating is that? My goodness, indeed. Yeah.
How was your trip, Jordan? Because you flew from
Mm.
Bangkok to Manila, didn't you, the capital of the Philippines, and you had a
Yes.
didn't you have a layover there?
A layover of about, I think it was 19 hours. Yeah, something like
Okay.
that. So the flight was awesome. It I don't know why, but we were on a different plane to when we went to Bangkok. So it was much more spacious, and we had in-flight entertainment. Not that it really matters for 3 hours, but it was still good to watch a movie and pass that time even quicker.
Yeah.
And then yeah, we landed in Manila and had to go through immigration, get your baggage and everything. And this is where I messed up. Basically, is I underestimated how long it takes. I underestimated how busy it was to get a grab or like, similar to like an Uber, and we were waiting for a long time to get our luggage. We were waiting a long time to sort out a hotel because we hadn't booked anything. and I was in the airport. Typically, this, of course, what will go wrong will eventually, what could go wrong will go wrong, right? Uh, and I'm there trying to book a hotel or accommodation in the airport on the way out, and I've got something like 7% battery left on my phone,
Oh no.
and I'm frantically trying to book a place so that I can go there. And in the end, I just, okay, this one, it's near. That was basically my like pin the tail on a donkey type of thing. Uh, you know, so I was like, okay, I'm gonna go to this one, and then took us ages to get a grab. Just the sheer number of people, it was mental. So many people at that time, um, and then got in the cab, got and took us where we said, like the address that we gave him. Got out of the cab. You look around. This is not the place where we should be. Like
Oh no.
it's not the cab driver's fault. It's the owner of, because it basically I booked like a an apartment, a condo that was on Agoda, and the address that the owner had given, you know, the the platform, or given me in the email, was the complete wrong address. And we're there wandering around for an hour aimlessly trying to find this bloody hotel. And bearing in mind, we've got a 9-year-old as well. She doesn't understand what's going on so much. And we're wandering around, tired after traveling. Uh, and you're asking, like, do you know this address? Where is this? And nobody knows it because they hadn't. This is the owner. They hadn't put the name of the building properly on our information. Uh,
Oh man.
so eventually we got there, and it was just like, as you said, a sigh of relief. It was just like, oh, thank goodness for that. We're here, and then we ate a bit of food and just slept. And I was thinking to myself, we didn't do anything in Manila. There was nothing that we did in the end. So was it worth staying over for that time? No, it wasn't. It should have. It would have been better if we just came straight here. Yeah, if we had enjoyed it a bit more, yeah, it would have been nice. And in hindsight, I should have booked in advance and things like that. But I think next time I'm not going to do a long layover in Manila. It was a bad idea.
So did you basically wake up the next day and then you were straight back to the airport? Was that pretty much it?
Yeah, exactly. That was
Ah, right.
exactly it. Yeah. So woke up. Um, didn't have to wake up entirely early, which was nice. And then chilled out for an hour, and then headed to the airport. It was yeah, it was kind of uneventful and not really the time that I had envisaged that we were gonna do. So yeah, I won't be doing that again. It was. I think that the whole process of going through immigration and baggage and everything, uh, yeah, I just underestimated how long it all takes and how much time, you know, getting a cab is, and waiting for it. That whole process takes at least 2 hours,
Oh
and
wow, it's a
then
long time.
you, yeah, because there was so many people. We arrived at like 6 p.m. I think it was.
Hmm.
So it's peak, you know, peak times of when planes are arriving, people are going to the departures, and it was just ultimately it was chaos. bearing in mind it was it was Friday. Friday, yeah,
It was
it
a
was a
Friday,
Friday.
yeah.
Yeah, so bearing in mind it was a Friday night, so again, peak times of people flying in just before the weekend and everything. So yeah, I won't do that again. But funnily enough, this isn't a funny story, but um, the day after we arrived back here, friends of ours were on a flight from Dumaguete to Manila, and they had to do the pilot had to uh, do an emergency landing.
Whoa.
Um, yeah, so um, just after takeoff, they I can't remember the cabin pressure dropped and full on oxygen masks and everything. And I think they dropped from something like 30,000. I think is it meters that they 30,000 meters down to like 8,000 in
Wow.
in the matter of like 30 seconds or something like that. Like they had
Whoa.
to, yeah, drop the plane really, really quickly because of the cabin pressure, and I believe it was because the air conditioning was messed up on the flight. So once they landed, it was like 50 degrees inside
Oof.
the plane, and yeah, a couple of people passed out due to exhaustion and everything. But yeah, I was like, oh my goodness, I'm so glad that we didn't experience that on any of our flights.
No, that's a drama that you
Yeah,
definitely don't want, isn't it? That sounds horrendous.
yes. Yeah, absolutely. It does. It is ridiculous, of course. So, as we usually do, we usually have some kind of stories after uh, discussing what has happened to us. So this week, do you have any stories that you came across in the news this week?
I do, mate. Yeah, nothing from the news as such, but something that
Ah, okay.
when we go for a walk, me and my kids and Mika, our dog, my kids are always, talking to me about different stuff, and they were talking to me this week about a particularly funny conspiracy theory that I just found
Ooh.
I found really really funny. So, are you a fan of conspiracy theories, and which conspiracy theories sort of stand out most in your mind?
Um, yeah, I do. I do like a conspiracy theory. I mean, I like the ideas of them, flying around, and I don't necessarily delve fully into them just because some of them are, apologies for the language, a bit batshit, um, in a way. Um, so one that stands out for me is I watched something in England, and they were putting up the 5G antennas,
Okay.
um, and people were a very few not a large number. It was very few people, small number of people. They were dead against these antennas, and they had got it into their heads that they were causing them, you know, harm internally, medically, and the way in which that they could counteract these 5G signals or waves were, was basically tinfoiling everything. So
Tin foiling everything.
because
What?
it's basically like I suppose that the waves bounce off the tinfoil and whatnot. So these people are sitting in their houses wearing like tinfoil hats.
Serious?
I'm not joking.
Oh God.
So they're wearing like tinfoil hats. They got tinfoil over the windows.
Mummified in tin foil.
Yeah, it was crazy. I was so so yeah. I'm a fan of a conspiracy theory here and there, definitely. just
Well,
just because it's interesting. Yeah,
yeah, I'd never heard of the tinfoil one. Obviously, like the really famous ones are like, the moon landing, the
yeah, yeah,
Area
yeah.
51 and
Mm.
aliens, the Earth is flat. But
Yes,
but
yes.
this one, right? I'd never heard of it before, and when my kids told
Okay.
me, my kids were shocked, right, that I had never heard of it. They were like, "How have you never heard of this, Dad? Like this is out there. This is really
Yeah,
really well known." So let's see if you've heard of it.
go for it.
It's to do with pigeons.
Okay,
Have you
right.
heard of this?
I don't think I have, but
No,
I'm
good. Well,
so intrigued.
okay, according to my kids, one conspiracy theory is that not all pigeons are actually pigeons, that many of them are like surveillance cameras put
What?
there by the government to spy on us. So when
Wow.
you know how like pigeons are everywhere, aren't they? Not just
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
in the
yeah.
UK, in London, but they're kind of everywhere, just sort of wandering about,
Yeah.
pottering about, and you don't really pay attention to them because it's a pigeon. But there's a
Mm.
conspiracy theory out there that says that many of these pigeons, they're not actually pigeons. They're watching us. They've got cameras in them, and they're watching us. I just found it quite funny. Have you ever heard of that?
No, I
No.
haven't. No. Yeah, I'm just trying to think of it now. Like, imagine your because my image of pigeons is like, for example, you're you go into a city or a town and you've got that like square usually, and it's like the main square that most people walk through or have to go to, and there's usually a massive group of pigeons in that square, right?
Exactly.
and
Yeah.
and yeah, like it in a way it makes sense of like because where pigeons are generally located because they're located in the busy areas, but how would it be possible, because whenever somebody walks through like a group of pigeons they just disperse. I don't know, it's yeah, that's very odd,
But
very very odd
do
indeed.
they all disperse though, or are there one or two that maybe hang back and sort of don't
Yeah,
fly off? This is what I'm going to be sort of trying to observe
testing.
whenever I see a
Yeah.
pigeon now. I look at it in a different light. I'm sort of thinking, is it a pigeon
are, you,
or isn't it a pigeon kind of thing? So
are
um,
you watching me or not?
yeah, exactly. But anyway, it just tickled me, Jordan, this week. It just made me laugh, like because it
Yeah,
was a conspiracy theory that I have never heard of before, but my kids were adamant that it's a really, really well known one.
yeah. Are you a believer of conspiracy theories, or do you think that some of them are just way out there and crazy? Like, what's your take on conspiracy theories?
Yeah, for me, I think they're way out there. They're a bit too crazy. I'm interested in reading about them sometimes, but I
Hmm.
wouldn't say I'm a believer. Like some people are totally hook, line, and sinker,
Yeah,
well, convinced by them, aren't they? These conspiracy theories, but yeah, I wouldn't say I
absolutely.
believe in them. How about you? Have you ever seen one and you've seriously considered it as a plausible theory?
I don't know, like the stuff that you hear. Um, Again, I've never experienced it, so I can't really say one way or the other. But like the stuff that you hear coming out of Area 51, you kind of think to yourself, is this real? Is this Is this not? I just kind of come to the conclusion that I'm never really going to know. I have no idea, and I'm not gonna I'm not gonna hedge my bets one way or the other. To be honest, like if I see it and experience it myself, then okay, I will say it's real. But yeah, I just kind of like those things around like Area 51 because it's extremely secretive, and people have said there's there's certain things that happen around there, like your compass goes a bit haywire because you're you're in an area where it can't function properly or something. So yeah, I think that's the only, to the certain extent of that I would either believe or not believe. I don't know. It's yeah, interesting. It's quite interesting. But one thing, touching on the point of conspiracy theories, um, the number of flat earthers increased during COVID. Actually, I don't
Oh,
know if you're
really?
aware of that.
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
Why do you think that was?
yeah. Everybody had time to watch YouTube videos.
Too much time to think, I suppose.
Yeah, I think they wanted to. Yeah, they wanted to get into a group and whatnot. And yeah, apparently the number of flat earthers increased during COVID, which I was shocked and surprised at actually. But how about the moon landing? Are you of the ilk that it was staged, or do you think it was real? What's because that's probably like the biggest one in the world, isn't it? The moon landing.
Hmm.
Like, what do you think of it?
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that one because I was just going to mention it as well. I think it is probably the most well known one, isn't it?
Mm, mm,
To be honest, I haven't read too much into that one as a conspiracy theory, but I think I've heard stories that there's quite a lot of compelling evidence that
mm.
suggests that it could have been staged, right? That it could have been filmed in a on a movie set, I guess, and
Yeah,
not actually
yeah,
on the moon. So that is interesting. Also thinking about the like the time that it was claimed that they went to the moon and the technology available at that time and how basic it was.
yeah.
And the whole space race thing as well, the race to get there.
Yes,
It,
yeah.
it's interesting. Is there any kind of movie about it or documentary? I'm sure there must be lots of documentaries about it. I need to look into that.
Probably. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think I don't think there's a movie about like the actual conspiracy itself, but I agree with you. I think there are definitely loads of documentaries that have been made about it. But I'm with you on that. Is that I think the timing is the key point because, as you said, the space race was really real. Like it was an incredibly real thing of like who can who can get there first, and that, and um, you realize that okay, in terms of winning. Uh, it's possible that they could have staged it because they wanted to beat other
Mm.
countries to get there first. So it's not out of the realms of possibility. That's the thing.
Do you think
Yeah.
do you think in terms like slightly changing the topic now, but thinking about the recent NASA mission
Mm.
that flew around the moon, didn't it? It went to the dark side of the moon.
The dark side. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
yeah. Um, Space tourism. Do you think in our lifetimes we'll see kind of space tourism taking off, where you can literally go up in a commercial rocket and experience exactly what they did? Fly to the dark side of the moon. Do you think we'll see that in our
Mm.
lifetime?
Yeah. Branson's trying it right with
Yeah.
Virgin Galactic, and I don't know. Again, it's I think I don't think that we will, like, in our lifetime. I don't think we will.
Okay.
I, I I would probably say that the technology needs to really be enhanced. And the reason I say like it's not like commercial, because I think we'll get to a point probably in our lifetime where it's available, but it's only available for the ultra rich, the mega rich.
Mm.
I don't think it's not going to be like, oh, where should we go for a holiday? Shall we go to, Spain or the moon? I don't think there's not going to be that option. Not unless you're a millionaire or billionaire.
Marbella or the moon this year.
Yeah,
Yeah, exactly, exactly. Yeah, I agree.
yeah,
It's probably for the elite, isn't it? The ultra wealthy to have that opportunity. But yeah, it's an
yeah.
interesting one. Space tourism.
But again, again, this is an interesting one because we're talking about space, talking about the moon. A lot of countries put a lot of money into space exploration. Like they really put a lot of manpower, time, and money, and of course technological developments as well. Is it worth it? Like, do you think putting all of that money into learning more about space is necessary, or should that budget for those countries be put to another usage?
Yeah, it's a great question. I personally really I love all of the space exploration and the research and looking beyond Earth and looking, out into
Mm,
space, and it kind of blows my mind in a way. It's my tiny mind can't really comprehend it. So I personally like
yeah,
I'm all for space exploration and putting money into research in space.
absolutely.
I think it's a good thing for us to understand more. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm definitely the same. I think for our generations to come, um, it's great to learn about different planets. It's great to learn about other potential galaxies, universes, and yeah, if we didn't have that, it would be kind of boring to just think that we are the only ones around. I don't think. Yeah, I think it's more interesting to have that, even if it's not real, but to have that possible idea that something else exists out somewhere else would be interesting. And as you said about like blowing your mind, I was blown away by stars, because when we see stars up in the sky, we look at them and you think, oh, wow, that's bright. That's really interesting. But at that point in time, that star is not there. It's gone,
Mm,
because it's already like it was there so many years ago, but we're only seeing it now. And like to wrap your head around that is weird. Like, I'm seeing it, to me it's real, but it's not there. That's just it's freaky to even think that. And yeah, how that is possible, it's incredible. Yeah, it's interesting when you have those mind-blowing situations, right?
yeah, absolutely. Where you are in the Philippines, is stargazing at night spectacular? Because I'd imagine where you are there isn't a lot of light pollution. So do you get incredible night skies, or
Yes,
you do?
absolutely.
Oh, you
Yes,
do. Oh,
yes,
wow.
yes. Like, yeah, where we are, if it's a clear night, you see loads of stars. The moon is super visible and bright.
Mm.
It's yeah, it's awesome. It's really nice. And sometimes even if you go along the beach, uh, you can sit there and you've got the moon reflecting off of the sea, and then you got loads of stars up in the sky. It's a spectacular view. It really, really is. And yeah, it's incredible. But also in in Kent area, it's quite nice, right? Because you've got the hills and everything. I presume it's quite nice up there too, right?
Possibly, possibly.
Okay,
Yeah, I guess so. I think where we are, not maybe not so spectacular as you would have it because of the light
right,
pollution, but um,
right.
yeah, that would be amazing. I mean, I would love to go personally to the Atacama Desert in Chile to
Yes,
experience the stars there, the stargazing there, where they have the big observatories. Yeah, it's
yeah,
one of my sort of lifelong ambitions. I think to go there. I think that would be amazing. I don't know if you've seen
yeah.
the Atacama Desert and seen those observatories, but they're I think the best in the world there.
I'm gonna have a look up on Google a little bit later to see that, because Sophia's into that kind of stuff. So it's interesting for me to know about it, and then I'll show her, because
Mm.
yeah, she loves all of that, and yeah, she's definitely into the science side of things, and yeah, it's brilliant. I think there's an endless possibility, isn't there, when we talk about like universes, galaxies, stars. Uh, there's so much to even learn, and again, I don't know how true this is. It's just through someone I heard on a podcast, but scientists believe that there is an alternate universe where you exist as you in another universe, and that version of you has done exactly the same movements as you, right down to the millisecond, right? So if you've scratched your eye, that version of you in another universe has scratched their eye. Try to comprehend that. That's just like, how would you even think that there's another you, but in another universe? It's weird, very,
Does
very
that
weird to
does
even
that
think
mean
about.
there's another universe where I'm there, but I'm different? Like I've got long hair
Possibly,
and
yes, maybe you might be like a rock star or something. Who knows?
exactly.
Yeah, possibly.
So that falls onto that theory, does it? Like multiverses almost.
Yeah, but I suppose yeah, your avatar is a little bit different, basically. Yeah, it's you, it's your movements, but maybe you're not the same um, on the outside. But yeah, I just heard about it. But if that is possible, try to wrap your head around that scenario, that there is another you and they've done exactly the same as you have done, like to the millisecond. Like
It's weird, isn't
it's
it? It's weird.
very, very weird. So there are loads of things going around, but that's what makes everything, our world, that's what makes everything interesting. It would be so boring if we all thought the same, all spoke the same language.
Mm.
We have fun, we enjoy it because everybody's different, and yeah, that's where I'm at. I don't necessarily believe everything, but I find it interesting to hear about, to read about, just because some things are way out there.
Absolutely, I totally agree with you. Well, it's been an interesting episode this week.
Yeah,
We,
has indeed.
we've talked about so many different topics. Should we should we dive in? Should we dive into the English to take away? Should we deliver the English to take away for
Yes,
everyone? Yeah,
deliver the goods. Go ahead.
exactly. Okay. All right. The first word I've got that you used, it's an informal adjective the meaning is like very, very, very good, and it's almost a throwback to the 90s, I think, when it was used a lot. It's
Yeah,
wicked, wicked.
yeah,
So you said your hotel room had a wicked view of the
yeah.
city. So obviously one meaning of wicked can be evil, can't it? Like the wicked
Mm,
witch of the West.
mm,
But
yeah.
another more sort of slang meaning, British English, I would say as well. Would
I
you
think
say?
so. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Mean
definitely.
means very, very, very good. So, oh, wicked! You know, it's a wicked T-shirt or wicked
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
trainers or wicked song.
Nice,
There you go, wicked.
perfect. Um, One that you described yourself as being on edge, right? I like that one because it's very visual as well. You're on the edge of something, and like for example, you're on the edge of getting angry. You're on the edge of being nervous. So you're on edge, meaning you're nervous. You're kind of boiling a little bit in terms of when, as you said, things are going wrong. Blood pressure is rising,
Oh God,
and
yeah.
you. Another one that you could probably have a little similar. You could say tipping point as well. You were on the tipping point of um, being, you know, more angry or frustrated with things. But on edge just means like nervous, worried, and yeah, you're starting to escalate that worry even more.
Cool. Well, that leads me perfectly into my next one, which is a synonym for nervous, on edge. Word that you said, jittery.
Mm,
Jittery, which
mm,
is an interesting adjective, isn't it? Jittery. So when I think of jittery, I think of this, like you know, nervous, jittery before a flight if you're scared of
yes,
flying, or jittery before a job interview if you're nervous.
definitely.
Jittery, nice word.
Nice. Yeah, cool. The next one, I love this one because it's a good idiom. Uh, Back to square one was a great one that you used. You said we were back to square one, meaning back to the beginning, right?
Yeah.
You you haven't moved. You're back to where you began. So yeah, when we say back to square one, it means that no progress was made. We were back at the start of where where we began things. So yeah, I like that idiom. I think that's a good one.
Cool. All right. Next one I've got is this is a great example of how, as native speakers, we often say things kind of differently,
Yeah.
in a more natural way. So, um, we went to the airport, is what probably many students would say, but you said we headed to the airport. So
Ah,
to head to a
yeah.
place, to go to a place, and
Yes.
yeah, so to head to a place might be a new verb, a
Mm.
new expression for many people. So yeah, to head somewhere, to go somewhere.
Like I think sometimes, for example, like native people will ask one another, like, "Shall we head home?" For example, right?
Mm,
It's a good version of like using in the question form. Yeah. Oh, shall we head home? Things like that, and it just means like go home on the way, like making your way home or something like that. So
mm,
yeah, good. It's a good one to use. Really, really different for English learners to be able to use that one. So that's a
mm.
nice one. The next one, again, very natural. Probably not a lot of people will come across this with, within their textbooks and that. When something is out there, right? You're, yes, we're talking about like a location. We say, oh, it's out there. But in this situation, when we say something is out there, it just means that the idea of it is a little bit far away from reality. It's
Hmm.
not necessarily something that we believe or we think about. It's more it's more polite than saying it's crazy, basically, right? When you say it's something is out there, you could use a synonym of crazy, but out there just means that you're being a little bit more polite. You're not being too direct with it. So I like that one. I thought it was quite good.
I like how you described it as well, being more polite. That's a really nice way of putting it. It's like if you describe someone, if you say he's crazy, that could be a
Yeah,
bit rude, couldn't it? But if you say, "Oh, he's a bit out there,"
yeah.
as you say, it's a more polite way of saying it, isn't it? Cool.
Softens it a little bit.
Exactly, exactly. It's like the
Yeah.
pigeon the pigeon conspiracy theory is definitely out there, isn't it? It's out there. It's
Yeah.
um, have I made you think of pigeons in a different way now? Do you think, or
I will look at them, yeah, differently because we've got a massive we've got a massive pigeon population in another town, and sometimes we go there and they you can feed the pigeons, right? And yeah, I'm going to look at them now as if to say, yeah, are you real or are you not real? It only takes one pigeon not to be real, right? Yeah.
yeah, it'd be the one that doesn't accept the food, or when you make them fly away, it'd be the one that's left, just
Yeah.
not flying away, and there you go, there he is, there he is.
try
Okay,
try and find the screws on him as well.
exactly. You look completely crazy or out there chasing after this bloody pigeon, trying to catch it.
Yeah.
Okay,
Uh,
the next one is, I guess you could say it's a discourse marker.
right.
It's a little expression that you can use at the beginning of giving a story.
Mm.
Funnily enough, but we would say
Ah.
funnily enough, not for something that is funny. It's got nothing to do with something humorous or funny, is it? It's for something
Ah.
that's of interest that
Mm.
you think's interesting. Funnily enough, I
Yeah.
went here
Off,
the other day, or
often, often slightly linking to something that has already been said as well, right?
hmm,
It doesn't have to be directly correlating to the story or something, but you know, there's a slight link. There's a slight connection. Like when I used it, it was to do with flying. So talking about another experience that friends of ours had. Um, and the connection there was the flight, and that's why I said, "Oh, funnily enough," and
hmm.
then that's the linking to talking about our experience of flying, and then transitioning into another story. Yeah, it's an interesting one, actually. Yeah, good one to be able to learn. Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, I think as the grammar go, I'm going to correct myself because I don't think it is a discourse marker. I think it's an adverbial, isn't it?
Ooh,
So just to correct
right.
myself there, but yeah, it's an interesting one because it's nothing to do with humour. It's not being funny. So if someone hears "funnily enough," they might think, "Oh, that's not funny,"
Yeah.
but we're not trying to be funny. Anyway, I
No, no.
digress. But there you go. Funnily
Awesome.
enough.
But something that you find funny um, and makes you laugh, you can say, "It tickled me," which you used. And I haven't heard that phrase for an extremely long time.
What your grandparents would say. I don't know why I said it. I think I said it and I thought, am I 85 years old or why have I just said that? But
Yeah, when something tickles you, you find it funny, or you find it slightly funny. It's not something that maybe you find hilarious. But yeah, it's again another expression to say you found something funny.
Cool. All right. Okay. The next one I've got is a word that means crazy. And
Mm.
it's, I guess it's a little bit rude, so you wouldn't say it in a formal situation. You wouldn't say it to your wife's family or your boyfriend or girlfriend's family, but batshit. So if something's batshit, it's completely crazy, isn't it?
Yes, yes, definitely.
we could we
It's a
could
good one.
brainstorm we could brainstorm a few more with
Yeah,
the root word
could
shit.
do.
I'm using my phone just to find some more because I think there are loads
Okay,
in English, aren't there? Um,
there are. Yes, yeah. We seem to be able to use compound words quite interesting. Like with creating meanings for with them as well. Like there's, as we said, batshit means crazy, but there are so many others that can mean different things as well, right? So yeah, it's interesting, very very interesting.
do you want to fire? Do you want to fire away? Give the first one
Okay, yes. So uh, dog shit.
and give the.
uh,
You got to give the example as well, right?
I will. Yeah, I
Yeah,
was.
sorry. Yeah, it just made me laugh.
So the the meaning to this one is something is, terrible. It's disgusting. It's not good. Yeah.
Cool. All right, bullshit. So
Ah,
if you
nice.
think something isn't true, it's nonsense. You can say
Yes,
that that's
yes,
complete
yes.
bullshit. I don't believe you.
Yeah. Similarly, horseshit is
Yes.
quite another one as well, right? As you can probably tell, like it's animal related and then shit, right? So I think horseshit is kind of a mix between the two that we've just mentioned, right? It, you can use it for something that is not true. You can use it for something that is not so good as well. Yeah, it's kind of in between the two that we've just used.
It feels bigger to me as well. Like if you think something's a really big
Yeah,
lie, right? You say
yeah, yeah,
that is
yes,
horseshit. It's almost bigger than
yeah.
bullshit.
Yeah, yeah. I suppose you maybe yeah. A, a horse is bigger than bulls.
I don't know.
That's an interesting. Yeah. No, I agree. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's a good one. Very, very good. Yeah.
Chicken shit. He's chicken shit. He's a coward.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yes. Any others
Ape
that I
shit.
can think? Ape shit. Yes, I love that one. To go ape shit means to go mental, to be really angry, and you just uh, going crazy basically. Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah.
I cheated, by the way. I had them on my phone.
I've got nothing.
No, I know you're winging it. Literally, you're winging
Yeah.
it. Brilliant. Well, I think that's all that I can
That's a
think
good
of,
one.
to be honest. But it's a good one.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
me too. Um, so the last one then from me, again, this is just a really good word for people to use to practice, especially when you have a strong belief in something. Adamant. Someone was adamant about something, like they really, really believed it. So you could say, uh, my kids were adamant that that pigeon was a spy, right? For example. um, so you can use it when they believe something, they think something is true. Yeah, they strongly believe it as well. So adamant is a good one to use.
Did I use
Yes.
that word then? Did I say adamant?
Not in that context, but you
Oh,
used
right.
it for something else. like I think you mentioned about the moon landing, and you said some people are adamant that it was filmed in um, a studio, a movie
Mm.
set, or something like that. But yeah, my example was just, yeah, just to say how people strongly believe something. Yeah.
Yeah, cool. Great example. Okay, Jordan. So we had Wicked as in
Mm.
really, really cool, really, really good. Be on Edge, Jittery. Probably
Hmm.
the next one's probably my favorite one that you mentioned, Back to Square One, which I think is a really useful
Yes.
expression. To head somewhere, so to go somewhere.
Hmm.
It's out there, a polite way of
Hmm.
saying it's crazy. Funnily enough, an adverbial which has nothing to do with being funny. It's
Hmm.
used to start an interesting anecdote or story. It tickled me. It made me laugh.
Hmm.
Um, Batshit and all of the other associated words that we came up with. And then to be adamant. What a great
Mm.
list this week. Amazing. Amazing.
Absolutely. Yeah, fantastic stuff. Awesome. And as always, if you guys want to get in touch with us, you can send an email to our email address, which is the English to Take Away podcast at gmail.com. Send in any information of stories or things you want us to cover, perhaps even role play ideas that we can show on the podcast. We're more than happy to go through the motions with them, of course. But yeah, great to be back. Unfortunately, it's not in person like it was, which was wonderful. But we'll have to do a special one for the 100th episode at some point in the
Yeah, yeah, for
future.
sure. Absolutely. And our homework this week is we need to go out and observe some pigeons, right? Try and,
Yes.
a few tests. We'll do the bread test, see if they all take the bread. We'll do
Yes.
the clap. Do they all fly away?
Yes.
And again, if there's that one
Yeah.
rogue pigeon, not reacting, then look a bit closer.
And I want our listeners to, also think about, like, do they trust these pigeons? Are
Yeah,
they, are they also skeptical about these pigeons that are out there?
exactly.
Yeah, let us know your findings.
Exactly. Exactly. We're interested to know.
Yeah, definitely. Fantastic. We will report back next week.
Cool. All right. Nice one. All right, mate. Take
All
care.
right.
Have a good
Take
weekend.
care.
See
See
you,
you
mate.
soon.
Bye
Bye
bye.
bye.
Bye.